how quickly 4 years will go by. You'll be busy, challenged, tired, and all that translates into a clock that moves around a little quicker than you have noticed the clock moving in years past. And so at that point, we'll actually reconvene in a setting such as this, and we'll reflect back a little bit on this white coat ceremony at that time. The students actually also will be reciting for you what we call the class oath. It's a personalized class oath that the students as a class have generated, and we certainly look forward to that. I believe that it was this week that they sort of came together as a group to actually engage in this exercise. It builds a lot of skill sets because teamwork, the ability to listen, the ability to compromise, and the ability to ultimately have a product that you as a body can take pride for and that you could use as your marching orders as you continue to move forward. So we certainly look forward to listening to your words when that opportunity comes. Do treasure what you have written in there because in many ways that becomes a way of sort of guiding your thoughts and your belief systems as you continue to grow as medical professionals. As you know, you will revisit that oath the day of graduation, and the family members and loved ones and friends that you have in the audience will have a chance to see the growth and the evolution and perhaps the transformation that you will experience. What remains true and unchanged probably is those core values that got you to where you are today. So make sure that you hang on to that as well as you can. If you recall, when I visited with you early on in your first day of class, I believe, I reminded you of the importance of making sure that those values remain unchanged as you go through your process and you get challenged in your growth. As you know, the path ahead is one that is going to be challenging and daunting. Those challenges are the ones that begin to rock the boat and where you want to make sure that you do not waver in your dedication, your passion, and your commitment to hard work. The one thing that I think you can take with you out of our gathering today is that the faculty and staff of the College of Medicine Phoenix are 100% behind you. We're here to support you in that journey and to cherish the moments that you will, go through as you continue to grow. So it is now my privilege to introduce our 2016 White Coat ceremony speaker, whom I said was Dr. Susan Kaib. From my perspective, in the time I've known Dr. Kaib, I can tell you that she epitomizes the excellence of her faculty and the commitment to service to our students. And so, Susan, for that, we're very grateful. She gives of herself in a very unselfish way, and because of her many professional achievements and her outstanding qualities as a human being, she was chosen as our Interim Associate Dean for Student Affairs, which I think is a very fitting job for your standards. Brief background on Dr. Kaib. She also holds the title of Associate Professor of Family, Community, and Preventive Medicine and Chair of a Case-Based Instruction Subcommittee. She has a love for teaching and has been awarded the Educator of the Year as well as a highly coveted Master Educator Award by the class of 2013. She was selected by students as an inductee, faculty inductee into the Gold Humanism Honor Society, a very prestigious honor society for the College of Medicine Phoenix chapter, and then later on she became an advisor for that particular body. Prior to joining the University of Arizona College of Medicine Phoenix, Dr. Kaib had a successful career in various areas of medicine and healthcare. She began her career in private practice and then, of course, had a thirst for greater impact. So she became the medical director of a multi-million-dollar nationwide workplace wellness company, a very important sort of forward-thinking activity, considering that this is now an area of top priority for the healthcare industry in our country. As president and medical director of the parent company Contract Research Laboratory, she also served as a principal investigator for multiple privately funded research studies. She graduated from Arizona State University in Tempe with a bachelor's degree in science with distinction, earned a medical degree from the University of Arizona Tucson, and then completed residency training at Phoenix Baptist Hospital. Prior to becoming a physician, she spent 6 years working as neonatal biochemist at St. Joe's Hospital and Medical Center here in Phoenix. She's a member of the American Academy of Family Physicians and an advisor for the College of Medicine Phoenix branch of the American Medical Women's Association. So I'm honored to welcome Dr. Kaib to the podium. Please help me welcome her.
Hello and welcome. You guys look so nice today. Welcome to all the families and loved ones and significant others. I thought that there's a few things that I want to share with you today, and I thought it would be best if we did this sorta in a lecture format. So let me make sure, well, you're going to get used to this a lot. Let me make sure the PowerPoint comes up. All right, here we go. So we're going to talk about keeping the art in medicine. And so the objectives we're going to go through, there's 3 things I want to discuss. I want to discuss probably how nervous you're all feeling right now, about to start MBLD. Also, why are the coats white? And then finally, I want to discuss what we're going to learn today about keeping the art in medicine. As Dr. Ramos indicated, I was not a traditional medical student. So when I went down to Tucson, I had already been out of college from ASU, go Devils, and, sorry. I know. And I had worked in a lab. So when I arrived in Tucson, I didn't know a soul. And something I wish people would have told me is how influential my classmates were going to be to me, then and all the way up until now. So I want you to take a moment and look at each other, recognize these are your classmates. These are the people you're going to be studying with. The MCAT is over. There's no bell curve. There's no rank list. And so you are your support for each other. You're your medical school family, and that's going to be really important. So no one can know exactly what you're going through, but your medical school classmates can. Even if your parents or loved ones are physicians, they don't know the day in and a day out of what you're going through. So I know some of you might be introverts, like I was going down to Tucson, go Cats. But a lot of you are extroverts. So if the extroverts would raise your hands. Okay, so I need you to pull the introverts in, okay? If you're noticing that they're not getting involved, I need you to pull them in. I don't know where the PowerPoint went. One thing I want you to remember, in order to maintain your compassion, you're going to need to take care of yourself also. So you're going to need to take care of your medical, spiritual, physical, emotional, all parts of you, every part of that petal of those flowers, you need to make sure stay intact. They're not going to be intact every single day in medical school, but try to find a balance. All right. At some point, you might feel not very compassionate. I mean, in all honesty, medical school is hard. If you start to feel that, I want you to stop and think about that oath. What a privilege that I got to work with you on your oath. And we spent, this oath, we spent 6 hours, I think, or 5 hours working on it and putting it together to get exactly how you felt. And so if at times you feel that compassion is not there, stop and think about how you felt Tuesday and today when you're reciting your oath. All right, what about the art of medicine? Before we get to that, there are a lot of things you're going to need to learn. And it's a lot of information. So don't worry, you're going to get plenty of the science. In fact, you're going to get so much science, I believe it is 10 blocks, 5 courses, 5 themes, topics, over 50 tests. In other words, it's a lot of stuff to learn. But the thing that's not quite as easy to learn, and I think it's in every single one of you when we worked on the oath, is that compassion. When I went to medical school in Tucson, I was there 2 years before the white coat ceremony began. And as Dr. Ramos indicated, in 1993, the Gold Foundation started the white coat ceremony. So, in all honesty, I didn't know exactly what it was about. Being a scientist type person, I looked it up, and I found a great article by Mark Hochberg, and I'm going to summarize what I learned about the history of the white coat. What? What did I miss?
Is it a primary source?
Oh, good point. Dr. McEachron has taught you well. No, it was an op-ed, sorry. But doctors didn't always wear white. In fact, if we look at this masterpiece by Akins, back in the 1800s, doctors wore black. And when you called a physician back then, it was a very solemn event. When you called a doctor back then, it was usually the end of life and not a good outcome. So if you look at this painting called The Gross Clinic, the physicians are wearing black as they're amputating a leg. I still can't get over that they're not wearing gloves. All right, quick history lesson. And any biology majors can just sit on their hands for this one. Who's heard of Lister or Pasteur? Okay, so about at the same time, what was happening is Dr. Lister, who was a British surgeon, was coming up with he was a pioneer of antisepsis, and so was able to find a way to decrease the organisms that were causing usual death with an amputation type surgery. So fast forward 14 years, so Joseph Lister, fast forward about 14 years, and here's another painting by Akins. And in this one, the coats are now white. Antisepsis has now been discovered, I would say, and they could decrease the organisms during surgeries and have better outcomes. So at this time, the white coats were demonstrating the cleanliness and purity based on the newfound science of antisepsis and hand washing. Of course, medicine's come a long way, and the coats still in some way symbolize the purity and the cleanliness. But it also means something much more. It means caring for human beings in a pure and unbiased way. The humanism in medicine, the art of medicine. During your career, as I mentioned, you might meet some faculty that have lost that humanism and that compassion. And at times when medical school is really hard, you're going to want to vent to each other. I get it. That's completely fine and normal. But I do want you to realize that every time you vent, just try maybe mentally or sometimes verbally, think about a positive thing and remember why you are here. Because good emotions can pass just as fastly as negative emotions. For the proud parents and families and significant others, medical school is really hard. And I don't mean to sound flippant, but pay attention if your loved one is maybe not as compassionate or understanding as they usually are. They might need a little help and attention from you at that time. My family was very supportive. But I was, and I'm sure you're going to recognize this in some of your loved ones, very independent, could pretty much get through anything, and didn't know how to ask for help. I never really needed to. So in my second year of medical school, when multiple personal issues hit all at once, and I started sinking into a very deep hole, I didn't reach out for help, but one of my classmates saw what was happening, and whether it was her knocking on my door in the morning to make sure I went to school, or a shoulder to cry on. But what she finally did was she picked up the phone and dialed our counselors and put that phone in my hand because she recognized I needed help. Now, hopefully none of you will need that, but if you do, I want you to be there for each other. So why am I telling you this? The hardest time to be compassionate is when we're feeling drained and tired. So I want you to take care of yourself. You don't have any idea what your patients are going through, what your fellow classmates are going through. A father with ALS, a mother with cancer, a divorce, a brother in prison for drugs. These were my classmates in medical school. So I want you to keep that unbiased, open communication and be there for each other. During your next 2 years, you're going to take a course called Doctoring, which just happened to be voted the best course last year. And you've already met Dr. Moffitt. And during that course, you're going to learn how to ask patients how they're feeling. And that's the beginning to the art of medicine, because once you know how they're feeling, you can talk to their fears and their concerns. So indulge me as I share a story about how I learned about the art of medicine. I just wanted you to see them being there for each other. My psychiatry rotation, third year of medical school, inpatient, I was given 2 patients to follow. One of them was a 21-year-old woman named Mary. Of course, not the right name. I was 23 at the time, so just a couple years older than her. And Mary's life was so challenging at that time, she thought it was better to kill herself than to go on. So she was in patient psychiatry, and when I first started talking to her, she was just a robot, a shell without any emotions. And my attending and chief resident thought it would be a good idea if I had a family visit with her and her mother. And her mother was the source of so much distress that she didn't think life was worth it. Now, I'm a third-year medical student, and I thought I had absolutely nothing that I would be able to offer this family. I hadn't done a psychiatry rotation or residency. This was probably my first week, and I was really nervous. But I knew how to talk and I knew how to listen. And I can remember sitting in that room with the mom and the daughter and letting the daughter just share all the hurts that she's had and all the concerns. And at first the mom didn't want to listen. She wanted to make reasons. But slowly over time, the mom was able to listen and the daughter was able to start healing. I went on and did other rotations. But 4 years later, I was at a resident graduation. There's probably 100 of us there, and one of the residents came up with his new girlfriend. And you guessed it, it was Mary. Of course, confidentiality took over, so when I was shaking her hand, I pretended I didn't know her and had never met her, but I did see maybe a little bit of a spark of memory that she remembered me. And the night went on, and I was at the punch bowl. There was actually a punch bowl. And my friend came back up to me alone without Mary. And he said, "You know, Mary remembers you." I was like, wow, that was a long time ago. He says, "No, she remembers you. She said you saved her life." I saved her life? All I did was listen. All I did was talk and let her talk. So I bring this up because as a third-year medical student, you have a lot to offer. And I want you to maintain that compassion. Because you're going to learn a lot of science, but that art of medicine can transcend so much. I think sometimes that hard second semester, my second year of medical school, even though it was extremely painful, it helped open my eyes and help me see the hurt and pain that people can feel. So hold on to those memories, not the hurt, not the pain, but those experiences, because they make you the doctor you're going to become. So these next 4 years are going to be an arduous journey, but I know each and every one of you can do it, especially with the support of each other. And I did want to just mention another little thing is the BHHS legacy. It was kind of interesting. It's come full circle. My residency was at Baptist, and the BHHS legacy is money that was brought in order to support medical education when the Baptist hospitals were sold. And so they gave you that book called On Being Mortal, and I really think we need to thank them for that. So congratulations on your first week, and as you learn all of that science, please don't forget to keep the art in medicine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kaib, for that inspirational speech. So students, are you ready for the white coat ceremony? We will now proceed with the presentation of the white coats. I do want to mention that in addition to the white coat sponsors, which I alluded to earlier in the introduction, two of our highly valued clinical affiliates have also made very generous and symbolic gifts toward each of our students. I'd like to personally thank our new primary clinical partner, Banner Health, and its CEO, Peter Fine, and the Executive Vice President for Banner University Medical Division, Kathy Bollinger, for their sponsorship for our students' first stethoscope. The stethoscope, of course, as many of you know, is a very significant symbolic instrument that's going to be heavily used in the course of the next 4 years. A wonderful gift, I think, from our partners, and we salute them on behalf of our students. Equally important is a gift made by the District Medical Group, led by its president and CEO, Dr. Cody Chandu, who's actually here in the audience, who's also a valued faculty member of our college, and the Maricopa Integrated Health System has given our students a wonderful primer, a book entitled A Patient History, an Evidence-Based Approach. This book is integral to our core curriculum and represents a foundation on which each of our students will build his or her career. We thank Dr. Cody for his leadership and his support, so round of applause for him. A couple of reminders before we begin. The college will be taking photographs of each of our students, and we will avail these photographs on our website, which of course minimizes the pressure on trying to take the best shot possible that you could. So I would respectfully ask each of the family and friends who are here to remain seated during the ceremony. Please note that this in no way inhibits the cheering that I'm sure you'll want to do for your loved ones, so please, we welcome that. I also want to let you know that at the end of the ceremony, we will have shooting capabilities on the outside, so you'll be able to take pictures, with your loved ones, and certainly should take full advantage of that. I now would like to invite Dr. Glenn Fogarty, our interim assistant dean for admissions, to the podium to start the coding ceremony, and ask that the platform party take their places.
If it'll stay. Today is an exciting day for our students and for us, as these students have just finished their first course, Introduction to Medicine. I had the pleasure of co-directing this block with Dr. Elaine Nigelman, and I could tell you, in these last 2 weeks, we had a tremendous group of future MDs. To say the least, I am honored to be here this afternoon to assist in presenting these students with their first white coat. This day is much for us as it is for you, so what we'd like you to do is to not be bashful for these next few minutes. When you hear that name, we'd love for you to cheer loud. This will be our future class of 2020. And we need the slide. No. There we go. We won't get ahead of ourselves. All right. Christopher Daniel Abdo. Go get him. Zoha Ahmed. Zaina Alatar. Dario Alvarez. Tosin Ayotunde. Christopher David Bean. Bethany K. Bennett. Piper Savannah Boyle. Aaron Robert Brussels. He's good. Megan Elizabeth Burke. Matthew Allen Burnham. Jenna Claire Calloway. Amy Suzanne Capone. David James Casper. Paulo Castaneda. Yanette Cora Kapnina. Kaylee Rose DiTronaltis. Jason Douglas DeWitt. Jocelyn Christine Donalfi. Habibi Ektadari. Fatima Esquivel. Agnes Iwangwo. Chase Fitzgerald. Yasmin Gochani. Matthew Gobranson. Justin Nicholas Hammond. Kathleen Marie Hanlon. Elzada Hasselchich. Madeline Beverly Highland. Shelby Marie Hobie. Tyler Matthew Holscher. Kyle Alexander Howarth. Shannon Ray Amell. Sarah Java Harifar. We'll get there. Sarag Kapadia. Megan Kelly. Jesse Lina Polyanin. Amy Joan Christensen. Carrie Lynn. Donovan Blair Lockwood. Sarah Ann Lowe. Nancy Lopez. Jacob Kevin Lithgow. Najasha Vani Maganti. Cayman J. Martin. Benjamin Luke McIntosh. Ian Matthew Mache. Vidya Mayapa. Anna Elizabeth Meza Rosheen. Cody Miller Munoz. Shivani Misra. Elise Marie Molnar. Zachary Tyler Morrison. George Van Wynn. Patrick John O'Connor. Ogaga Ojamarai. Naomi Rachel Onaka. Fozia Abdullahi Osman. Sarah Shakir Patel. Sandy Jean Peoples. Agnieszka Joanna Radziszewska. Bridget Nicole Ralston. Jessica Aline Reyes. Mark Trevor Rohr. Eyal Ron. David Blair Rosen. Dylan Michael Saab. Daniel Salovitz. Amber Melanie Sandoval Menendez. Kelby Laurel Schaeffler. Juliana Elizabeth Sarah. Bhavish Prakosh Shukla. Jason Paul Singh. Veronica So. Sarah Stremlaw. Alexia Ray Tatum. Melissa Lynn Thomas. Jeffrey Wang. Shannon Christine Wheeler. Emily Elise Wolfenden. Daniel Yuzi Shea. Alec Michael Zamaripa. Jamie Zhang. Let's give these students, with their great-looking white coats, one more round of applause.
Wasn't that great? Yeah, exactly. You can feel the excitement in the air, right? At this point, I'd like to reiterate what I said before, that our students have spent a number of days during their first week crafting their collective class vision and mission statement and how they envision their role as a physician and as a leader in society. So this is their class oath. And students, would you please rise, face your loved ones, and share your class oath. I will start you up with the first two words, which are very challenging. We, the... So students, please take your seats for a few closing remarks. Obviously, on behalf of the college and everyone here, from the faculty, staff, parents, friends, we want to thank you for sharing your personal and cherished thoughts, which are captured in the oath. To reflect on what you just said, I'd like to remind you to remember that you're coming into medicine from a place of love, acceptance, and a promise to cure sometimes, to relieve pain and suffering as much as you can, and to always offer comfort. In what will seem like a snapshot, you'll be back here in about 4 years to become minted physicians for the state of Arizona. At that time, as you know, you will revisit the class oath, and we'll have an opportunity to listen to that once more. Everyone in the college is very excited to join you in your journey, and we want you to know that we are committed to working hard with you towards your success. Before we part for the evening, like to have the class of 2020, the classic class of 2020, to please stand up one last time for a round of applause. I just have a few additional closing remarks to make. Obviously, we want to thank Dr. Kaib for her wonderful words and message for the students. So. And last but not least, when we put together events like this and things go smoothly like they did today, we often tend to forget that there's a whole lot of people that are in the background making sure that things happen. So I'd like to take a few moments to thank the individuals who are in the planning committee, which were led by Catherine Isaac and Sheila Maddox. Our media production team, led by Alison Odu and Adolfo Navarro. And as I said, all the people behind the scenes that made this possible, so thank you very much. To the family, friends, and loved ones who are here, I would ask that you remain seated until the students, the platform party, and the faculty have a chance to recess. At that time, you can meet your favorite student or students out in the lobby where you could take the photographs up and entertain, as I indicated before. Those professional photos will be taken, throughout that session. Again, congratulations to the class of 2020. So, Cheryl, if you